welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of the show. And as always, special welcome to the many millions of subscribers that we acquired over the last week. Spring break is over here in Canada. And we're trying to squeeze in one more show before the school start. And as many times before, we have an awesome guest, Saad and I with us today. And today we have a very exciting subject, something which will be, I think, very interesting for a lot of people, the younger crowd on the channel. Over to Saad. What are we talking about today?
All right. So for this episode, we're talking about the top 5 PS5 games of 2023.
But why PS5, Saad? Any particular reasons for the PS5?
No.
No particular. You don't mean to say that the PS5 we have in the other room? Okay, I get it. No problem at all. Okay, go ahead. It's all yours.
All right. So the number one most trending and best-selling game is called Stray. Stray is a post-apocalyptic adventure game that has players embodying a cat in a world humans have left behind. It has plenty of fresh ideas, each one pared down to its purest form. There's a discrete button to meow, and the robots the cat shares its world with react with shock and frustration when you cut across their board game.
Wow. I've seen a video review of Stray. Pretty awesome though. Yeah.
When the cat gets pets and cuddles from the robots, it purrs and the DualSense haptics fire up in response. The environmental puzzles take advantage of this cat-level perspective, inviting players to look at the world with different light-reflective eyes. Stray introduces a world of light-hearted dystopia, where robots don't hate humans, but instead attempt to cultivate plants that can survive in the dark. Compared with the most dystopian cyberpunk games, Stray is downright joyful.
Very nice, exciting. I think that's a surprise, right? I don't think it's from a major studio or something.
Yeah.
Right? And it still is number one. Okay, who's number two?
Alright, number 2, God of War Ragnarok.
God of War.
God of War Ragnarok is a vast journey that takes protagonist Kratos and his son Atreus all over the 9 Norse realms in order to prepare for Ragnarok, a mythical event that is said to put the world to an end. Combat is smooth and adaptable with a wider range of enemies. There are additional worlds to explore, side quests to do, and an ending sequence that exceeds any God of War game's largest fights. With native 4K graphics or high frame rates up to 120 Hz. The background for all of this is some of the most stunningly detailed and diverse locations available.
Wow. Well, while you were presenting, I think when we're editing the show, maybe towards the end, we'll put in a number like a dollar amount as to how much do these games, or how big is the video game industry, and how big is the PS5 console industry.
Yeah.
Just to give people, and the Xbox, dare we say, the Xbox industry, just to give people an idea of how big these industries are. Right? They're in the hundreds of billions of dollars in annual revenue. So this is not just children's games that we're talking about. We're talking about some serious money here. All right.
All right. Number 3. So, in my opinion, I thought this would be number 1 because this is the most overhyped. Not overhyped. I've actually never played it. But number 3, The Last of Us Part 1.
Very nice.
The Last of Us and its sequels, The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2, are both excellent PS5 games. Both games offer a huge post-pandemic adventure plot that follows survivors Joel and Ellie through a brilliantly rendered but horrific world populated by zombie-like, infected, and ordinary humans alike. The stories are about human connection in all its messy glory, and the tone is frequently grim, Yet there are moments of brightness, humor, and hope scattered across the shattered world. Both games take you on a dramatic, violent, and emotional trip, but they are both worthwhile.
I think for people who have seen or who are into the Last of Us season, um, I think that'll be a plus to play the game alongside. Should be interesting. All right, what's next? Who's next?
I've personally never heard of this game, but number 4, Rollerdrome. Rollerdrome
Roller drone.
is a visually appealing dystopian blood sport with smooth, precise controls that allow players to glide around the environments on rollerblades. It's a blast to dodge, and then leap into the air to slow down time and take out the people shooting at you while refilling ammo and gathering health. Behind the rollerblading slaughter, a terrible narrative of corporate greed emerges naturally, keeping the stakes high. Rollerdrome was a 2022 sleeper hit, so if you've been sleeping on it, now's the time to wake up and play.
Very nice. Now's the time to sleep and go to school tomorrow. All right, who's next?
All right, number 5. This is my favorite game on the list. Number 5, Gran Turismo 7.
Ooh, Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo 7 offers a variety of game modes, including GT Campaign, Arcade and Driving School, GT Simulation Mode, GT Sport Mode, and over 420 cars available at Brand Central and the used car dealership. Each car handles differently and feels unique as you navigate our over 90 track routes in dynamic weather conditions, including
nice.
classic courses from GT history. That's it.
That's it. Wow. My mind stopped listening, or I just stopped listening when you said 420 cars. I wonder why they chose the 420 number. They could have made it like 450, 419, but it's okay. I can live with 420. What else you have got?
That is it.
That is it. I think for just a bit of a rant for anybody, all the parents out there who are considering of buying their children, or even the children who are planning to buy a PS5. I think one of my key observations is a lot of these games are available on the PC, right? So if you have a PC, you don't need a dedicated console. Back in the day, we used to buy a dedicated console because there was a lot of exclusives for the consoles, and also the consoles could double up as like a media player or like a DVD or a Blu-ray player. But I think nowadays your smart TVs are smart enough to kind of compensate for those features, and a gaming console is just a gaming console. So you must be a very die-hard gaming person or a gaming fan to invest like upwards of $500 if you're in the PS5 category, and if you really want to enjoy, or if you enjoy that immersive experience. And one of the other things that we experienced is you also need a big TV, big 4K TV to enjoy all of the HDR content that these games have to offer. But personally, I think that if we invest in even if a mid-spec gaming PC, that could just be sufficient for a large or the larger population. But who am I to judge? If you want to spend your money on a brand new PS5, not the PS5 digital, mind you, yeah, go ahead. I'll be, let us know in the comments what you buy. Any other thoughts from you, Saad?
No.
No? Apart from this top 5 list, what is the game that you play the most on the PS5?
I have a few games. I personally like to play shooter games and racing games. So for racing games, I like to play F1 22 and 23. And then for shooter games, I play games like Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone.
Call of Duty Warzone. How is that game not for kids? I like Call of Duty 2 though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have a few sport games. I like to play NBA 2K23,
Okay.
and I like to play FIFA 23. Those are my top
nice.
games.
Do you know what has changed from FIFA 2022 to FIFA 23?
No, I feel like it's just the graphics.
Just the graphics, but the FIFA graphics are so real, right?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we can, get some gameplay from the PS5 and add it, maybe towards the end of the podcast, so people can get an idea of, how amazing the gameplay is. And I think one of the games that I enjoy playing, or a few of the games that I enjoy playing, are Need for Speed. Need for Speed. And obviously there are so many variants of Need for Speed, and now what has happened is after this PlayStation Plus, they have these tiers, and you have to have a different tier for a different game, and then there is this EA Pass or something, and all these things are so confusing, right? And you have to have a certain tier to play certain features in the game, like multiplayer online is some tier, and then etc. etc. So having said all of that, I think Sony needs to fix it, but that's a different video. We'll do a different video on PlayStation Plus versus Xbox Game Pass, right? Is it called Game Pass? Yes. I think that should be our next video. But so there's NFS, Need for Speed, all-time favorite. There's Call of Duty, which I like to play. What else? What else is there? I always wanted to play Assassin's Creed, but I think I just find it to be too complex. And I don't know why, but I'm the kind of guy who just wants to play games for fun, not to drain all of my mental capacity just to figuring out how to go to the next stage. But maybe I'm getting old for video games. That's what I think. Anything else on this subject? Anything exciting to share?
No.
Not at all. Okay, let's do this. Let's come back again with a PlayStation Plus versus what was it?
Xbox Game Pass.
Xbox Game Pass. Let's do that. That'll be interesting. We don't want to do a console review, PS5 versus Xbox. I know PS5 sales are double those of the Xbox. But I think Microsoft's playing a different game. They are not into console wars anymore. So I'm not personally not interested, but I'm more interested in the PS, the subscriptions from Sony versus subscription from Microsoft, Xbox. That should be an interesting conversation. What else do you think we should make videos on? Let us know in the comments, of course, you guys. But Saad, what do you think?
I'd have to think about that. But
Any particular games you want to review?
maybe
Maybe you can do like a gameplay, and then you can do some commentary on top of the gameplay, and you can just walk people through how do you play this game, how do you play that game. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Right? And we don't have to do one game the whole podcast. You can do 2 or 3 games in one podcast and go from there. I think that sounds like an interesting idea. All right, with that, thank you very much, everybody, for your time and for watching, subscribing, sharing our videos with your friends. Hopefully, you have more friends than we do, and they also subscribe to our channel. All right, take care. Bye.